here's how to build this small but highly efficient iron farm in Minecraft Bedrock Edition. Now, first of all, when building this farm, you want to make sure to build this at least 100 blocks away from every other village or iron farm. As you can see, I got myself another iron farm right there, so I'm gonna make sure to go away at least 100 blocks. And once you found a good spot, you also want to make sure to not have any beds or any workstations around. Especially if you build this near your base, you want to make sure to not have any beds or any workstations like barrels or brewing stands nearby, so in a 100 block radius. But apart from that, it is very easy and straightforward to build. The first thing that you want to do is to dig out 5 blocks like this and another 4 blocks like that. And then you want to dig out all the blocks in between, so you end up having an empty 5 by 5 square. Now you want to dig out 7 more layers of that hole to make the hole 8 blocks deep. Now this is my 5 by 5 by 8 block hole setup, and the next thing you want to do is to set up 5 beds at one side of the hole and do the same thing at the opposite side of that hole. Then you want to dig out the line in between of the beds like this. You also want to remove the blocks underneath of the beds. This is very important because after this step we're gonna fill in these blocks that we just dug out with another row of beds and do the same thing on the opposite side as well. So that means we now should have 20 beds in this position right here, and this is perfect because we will later have 20 villagers in our iron farm as well. So everything's set up in terms of beds. In between of these 2 bed rows, we gonna place 2 block rows as well, like this, and you can use any kind of block that you want. This is just to make sure that no mobs will spawn down here. Next of all, you want to grab any kind of workstation that you want, and I'm gonna use fletching tables for this because they're very easy to get, but you can use any full block working station that you want. Also, you can use barrels if you want to. Then what you want to do is to place one of your workstations in the middle like that, and you also want to place some more workstations in the corners right above the bed and also in the middle of these 4 sides. And that means you should have set down 9 workstations as of now. In between of these blocks, we're gonna fill in everything with regular blocks. That means we have a nice platform for us and for the villagers to stand on. At this point, I highly recommend placing down a torch in the middle of your platform, because that means that hostile mobs won't be able to spawn down here and kill any of your villagers. We don't want that, so definitely have a light source down here. Next up, we're gonna go ahead and dig out a rim that is 2 blocks high all around our platform. That means by now you should have a 7 by 7 room down here. Next up, we're gonna add some more working stations because we will need 20 working stations in total. And in order to do this, you want to remove the blocks behind the workstations you already placed, like this, and replace them with the workstation of your choice. You can also mix the workstations and use other workstations now if you want to. But then you want to repeat this on 2 more sides. So now we have 18 workstations, and we're gonna add 2 more on the 4th side and leave open the 3rd block like that. And that means we set up everything for our little artificial village that we will create down here. But what is left to do is to get all the villagers into the room. But this isn't a hard step at all. And I'm gonna explain how to get them into that hole. There are 2 methods. The first one is for all of you that already set up a villager breeder like this one. If you want to have a tutorial for that villager breeder, you can get that in the video description, and then you'll only need to get 20 villagers out of that villager breeder and take them to the hole, drop them down there, and you're finished with that step. However, if you don't want to build a villager breeder, there is a method for you as well. You just have to find a village and then take 2 of the villagers, put them into a boat, so just place down the boat and push them into it. Do that with 2 villagers of your choice, and then use a leash to take them all the way to your new iron farm. And by the way, you can also use minecart tracks if you want to do this. Here we are, and as you can see, the villagers are already connected with the workstations, meaning they connected to the village as well. If they happen to not connect to their beds, and workstations down here, then check that you don't have any other existing normal or artificial village near your iron farm. But in any case, the next thing that you want to do is to multiply them from 2 to 20. And how you do this is very simple. Just take some stacks of bread or carrots and throw them to the village. Now they should share the bread, and as you can see, hard particles will stop appearing, and that means they're breeding and starting to create new bonds, which will fill in our village and will give us our 20 total villagers. And if for any reason they will stop breeding, just throw them another stack of breads, and this will solve all your problems. Now while they're breeding, you can start with the next step of the building process. Again, make sure that you have a torch in this position, and then you can place a roof above the villagers. That means you just have to take some solid blocks and create a 5 by 5 platform at this height, and you should have 3 blocks empty to the top like this. Now as said, we have a 5 by 5 platform, but we're gonna change that right now by digging out 3 blocks into every direction. This should be looking like this, so you have these 3 by 3 holes in the side of your walls, and you now want to clean out all the blocks in between, giving you a nice square shape. I hope you get what I mean with this step. In the end, it should be looking exactly like this, and this will give you an 11 by 11 platform. Now we're gonna build a wall out of leaves and glass. How you do this is very simple. You just want to place a wall of leaves on the first side of your chamber, and you can do this on any side. Then you want to repeat this on 2 more sides, but on the 4th side you're gonna do the same thing but with solid glass blocks. Now why we do this is very simple. The leaves will prevent mobs from spawning, so especially iron golems, they won't spawn in all these positions. And glass in the front is very simple as well to explain. We will need the glass to see what is going on in the farm, because we now gonna create an AFK platform behind the farm. And in order to do this, you want to find the middle of that side, which is right here, and then you want to go away 1, 2 blocks like this and dig down by 3. Now we're gonna clean out some blocks, giving us a 3 by 3 by 3 hole. And that should be looking like this. And as you can see now, you'll understand why we have glass in this position, because later we will see what is going on in the farm. As the next step, you want to turn around and place ladders in all these positions so you can easily access your AFK spots. Now we create a small storage system for our farm, very easy to set up, and in order to do this, you want to drop down right here, and you want to remove these 2 blocks in front and below of the glass blocks. You want to replace them with hoppers, and they should face to that side. Now you just want to stack up with some blocks, go out of that hole again, and drop into your AFK spot, and then we're going to remove these 2 blocks right here and replace them with chests. By the way, you can also replace the roof of your AFK spot with some regular blocks, but this is optional, you don't have to do this. Now in any case, what you definitely want to do is to build a wall all around your entire iron farm to prevent exactly this from happening. As you can see, a zombie spawned nearby and dropped down into our iron farm, and this will interfere with the iron golems later, so with our iron rates as well. Now when I say wall, you can either use brick walls like this or fences, and in this case I recommend fences just for the resource. You want to take the wall or the fence all around the entire hole like this and place them on top of the leaf and glass blocks. In the front side you can place a fence gate, so that way you can easily enter your iron farm if you want to kill the zombie. Next up, we're gonna deal with the cats in our iron farm. You want to take some fish and you want to tame 5 cats down here, and you also want to make them stand up like that. Now the cats will follow you around, and if you go far enough away, they will spawn behind you like that. And we're gonna make them sit down right in front of the iron farm, and this will prevent any more cats from spawning, so they can't interfere with the iron golems. So far so good, but at this point you want to make sure that you have 20 adult and working villagers down here. And if you have any green coated villagers like this one, then you want to remove them and you want to wait until the guy is replaced. So again, you should have 20 adult and working villagers down here, and only then we can continue with the building process. And as you can see, 2 iron golems already spawned. The next thing we're gonna do is to set up the killing mechanism of the farm. In order to do this, what you want to do is to place a sign in this location, so 1 block above the hopper. Then you want to place another sign right here and do the same thing on the other side. So you now have 3 signs in this pattern. Place a 4th sign against this one, and a 5th sign, and our final sign. And everything should be looking like this, and this will create a nice spot for our lava to sit in. You want to place it right there. Now, iron golems will be killed if they step into the lava, but in order to make them step into the lava, we're gonna create some water streams that will perfectly transfer them into the lava. And in order to do this, we're gonna grab some blocks and some water buckets, and you wanna place 1 block right here and another block in the other corner like this, and place water sources on top of these 2 blocks. Now, the water does not flow perfectly until our hopper, and in order to change that, we're gonna place blocks in all these locations and continue our little platforms until the water flows perfectly till the edge. We're gonna need 1 more row of blocks on both sides, and as you can see now, everything but the hopper is covered in water streams. And at this point, you wanna really make sure to remove all of these blocks that you just place, because otherwise iron golems won't be able to spawn in all these locations, because this block height, so right here, is too high for the iron golems to spawn on. They can only spawn on top of this level. Now, whenever an iron golem spawns, it will be transferred into the lava and will be killed there, and all the loot will be collected by the hoppers and will get transferred into the chest. And that means if everything works for you like that as well, and iron golems start spawning, are killed, and everything is in the chests later, then it means that your iron farm is perfectly working and you can start using it in your survival world. If you build everything correctly, this farm will give you up to 400 iron ingots an hour. And by the way, if for any reason your fences are burning, then you can do it like I did and go to your settings, to the game settings, and there turn off fire spreads. If you don't want to turn off fire spreads, you can just replace it with stone walls, and this will prohibit everything from being burnt. At this point, I hope you enjoyed this video and it helped you to build a good iron farm in your Minecraft Bedrock survival world. If it did, please don't forget to subscribe. I want to get to 100,000 subscribers this year. And then we'll see us again in the next one. See ya!